We all have a self-image of ourselves, on how we see ourselves now and how we see ourselves maybe in the aspect of how other people are seeing us. So look at your self-image. Your self-image that you see now is actually determining on where you're at right now in your path and in your life's purpose and what you're doing. So if you don't see yourself in a certain light, in a certain way, then how do you know that other people are seeing you in the way you want them to? So I want you to identify self-image. And this is the image you see of yourself. Let me get that real quick. Image. And this is going to take 5 simple steps. Just 5. It's not hard. It doesn't take a lot of time. It is time that you will have well spent, okay? Because when you can identify your self-image on how you see yourself, how you portray yourself, is a good indication of how others are seeing you. Maybe you are not, excuse me, are not getting where you want to go in life. Maybe you've spent the whole last year struggling, trying to make it, trying to make the income, trying to get the business going. Maybe you're trying to get the person you want in your life to come to you so you can meet, so you can, get acquainted. Maybe you're just trying to get the family on one even path to where everybody's happy, everybody's successful, everybody's being where they need to be. Wherever you're at on your path, when you can identify your self-image, you have come a long way in succeeding at what you want. So one thing I'm going to tell you about here is you're going to look at yourself. You're not going to look at other people, because you're going to dive down deep in you and see what it is that has you held up from not going forward, held up from not succeeding, or maybe you're succeeding so fast you can't get the reins on. You need to put the brakes on a little bit so you can catch up. Either way, see your self-image. So I want you to do these 5 steps. They're 5 and they're simple, and they don't take a lot of time. They do take a lot of thought. So be prepared to think, okay? So on these 5 steps, you're going to work on yourself. And when you work on yourself and you know where you're at, you know where you're going, you know what path you want, you'll find it's going to be easier for you to take those steps to have the success that you want. So step number 1 is, what are your assumptions about yourself? Again, this is all about you. Describe yourself to others. Write down how you would describe yourself to others. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? In your strengths, what would you say? I am a good leader. I follow through. I'm a self-starter. Excuse me. Pardon me. I do everything I need to do. I have a routine. I follow it every day. So what are your weaknesses? What are your weaknesses? Maybe you have on the opposite end of that assumption. Maybe you have weaknesses that you set a plan and you don't do it. You don't follow through on it. That would be a weakness. Write that down. Maybe a weakness would be you don't really know what you want to do. You want to sleep late. You want to, whatever it is. Write down your weakness. This is going to give you a good insight, because as you're writing these down, you're explaining yourself to someone else. You're explaining yourself on what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. Okay? Now let's go to number 2. Number 2 is, what part of this list would you change? Okay, set an affirmative statement for what it is you want to change. Set a statement of, I want to be more a go-getter. I want to follow my path. Whatever it is, set an affirmation, not just an affirmation. set an affirmative action. An affirmative action is actually different than an affirmation. An affirmation is something that you state repeatedly, which changes your habits, it changes your mentality. Affirmative statement is a statement you're saying to make it affirmative. Like if you say, by the next 3 months, I'm going to have made $10,000. That is an affirmative statement. Believe it, go with it, and you could actually do that. So that's number 2. Number 3, like I said, these aren't hard. These will take some insight. They will take some soul searching. Be honest with yourself. The first time I did this, I was not happy with myself. I was finding all kinds of things wrong with myself. And by unfolding and by bringing those things to light, I was able to change them. I was able to change my life, and I was able to change my path. And I've done this years ago. It's been like 30 years ago the first time I did this, and it was an eye-opener. So, number 3 is once you identify specific aspects about your self-image, you know where your attention is required. Because when you know where you need to put attention at, then you're going to know where you need to go and what changes you need to make. Again, this is all about you and what you're doing. So come up with a plan that is achievable. Look at your self-image. Look at where you're faulting yourself. You're not faulting anyone else, okay? You're not faulting anyone else but yourself. So come up with a plan that is achievable between your strengths and your weaknesses. You're making a detailed list. You know what this list is. You've got it written down. It's in front of you. Use it to your ability, because you're going to set an achievable plan. You're going to set this up on how to work what you want to work, on how to do what you want to do. Keep in mind, you will set out with, it's hard. It is going to be hard. It is going to require work. Anytime you put work into something, anytime you work from the heart, anytime the work seems very hard, I'm not meaning manual labor hard. I'm not meaning you have to crack your brain hard. I'm meaning sometimes it's just hard to come out of your shell and come up to fact of what you are and who you are. When you do that, this will help you to grow. It will help you to aspire to be who you want to be. Okay? It's very important. Number 3, it's very important. So identify the aspects of your self-image and see where your attention is required, because that's where you're going to focus on, what is required. Number 4 is look at the negative about you. I want you to look at all the negative statements you've made about yourself and put them into positive ones. You're going to turn those negative statements of, I can't seem to make a plan work. I can't focus on a plan and do it. You're going to change it into an actual affirmation and say, I am making every plan I set work to the end. I will not give up. I do not give up. When you say, I will not give up, it means you haven't done that yet. But when you say, I do not give up, that's changing it into a statement of fact, an affirmation of fact. I do not give up until it is done and I have success. When you do that, you're setting a new intention within yourself. And when you set that intention within your heart, brain, and within yourself, you are giving yourself more power to have and be and have and do. Be, do, have. I got a little frustrated with that, didn't I? So when you just change the affirmations around, if you have a negative affirmation or a negative statement that says, I'll never make $1 million, I'll just never do it, change that to an affirmation of, I am making $1 million now. I am making $1 million now. And that statement is an affirmation. It doesn't mean $1 million is going to drop in your lap. It means you're doing the steps you need to do now, which is going to build you up to that amount. Regardless of how long it takes you to get there, that doesn't matter. What matters is that you are on the path and you're doing what you need to do to get there. That is what matters. Okay? And don't stop until it's done. I don't stop until it's done. And make that a statement to yourself more so than anything else. I do not stop until it is done. Even if you have to stay up late, get up early. Do the steps. Do the chore. Do the challenge. Whatever it is, do it. Okay, number 5. Number 5 is, this is going to be a little bit more intuitive, guys. This is going to be a little bit more from the heart. So what I want you to do is, once you get a notebook, a plain notebook, just a small one, doesn't have to be big, just a small book, and clean paper, I want you to write your story. I don't want you to write the story you have now. I want you to sit down and I want you to start writing the story of the you who you are creating. You are creating this new you. This is a new you that you are creating. I want you to put it into story form. Write down, wow, I had such a great time today. I learned this new training step, 5 simple steps to grow and change my life, to see my self-image, to see myself grow. And I learned I had blank, blank, blank. And now I know how to create blank, 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 whatever it is. As you're doing this, write down your story. Write down what you want, who this person is that has already achieved what you want. You are that person who has achieved your dreams. You have achieved your goals. You are that character. That is you. That person has your name. That person has your face. That person has your voice. That is you. You are telling the story of this person. So tell your own story. Start out, just write a little bit each day and read it back to yourself every day. And like I said, this isn't going to take a long time unless you want to sit down and write a whole book in one swoop, which that's not actually the purpose of this exercise. The purpose of this exercise is for you to evolve and grow with every step you take. And when you evolve and grow, you're going to find that those patterns will stay with you. That self-image is going, you're going to see yourself evolving. You're going to see yourself becoming the person you really want to be. You're going to see yourself having what that person has. You're going to see yourself living the life that that person has. So your self-image, what do you say when someone asks you about yourself? How do you describe yourself? Put it in the book. You're writing your story. This is step 5. You are writing your story. And you have a great story that is going to be well worth reading in the future. And you're going to love looking back at your story. And you look back at your story years from now, and you see where you were, say 5 years from now. You look back 5 years from now, and you're going to see how far you've come, how you've blossomed, how you've grown, how your life has changed. Write down, keep the story going. Keep it. It's not being like an autobiography type thing. This is an unfolding of your life that you're creating as you go. You are not just creating the story. You are creating the life. Words come to reality. Words come to life. Put your words to good use. And I will talk to you later. We do have a training for you here. And we're coming together and we're helping more and more people every single day. We're coming together and giving you challenges, giving you courses, giving you systems and strategies, and just helping you to grow. Why not? It is the information era, and this is about the time when you start growing. If you haven't met a plan, if you haven't got your self-image in order, do so. And I look forward to seeing and hearing what you're up to. Talk to you later.